So it was a dark Wednesday evening. My wife and kid were out of town, and I was left home alone browsing through vintage computer sites when something caught my eye. This 3DFX Voodoo5 card. For the people that don't know Dutch, it's a 3DFX Voodoo5 video card and game. Listed online for 60 euros. Now the listing is reserved because it is reserved for yours truly. That's right. I ended up chatting with and we got to an agreement on the purchase of this card. But before we dive into the technicalities of the transaction and what exactly went down, first a word from our sponsor. And this video is sponsored by PCBWay, a full-feature custom PCB prototyping service. If you need PCB prototypes, SMD stencils, PCB assembly, flexible PCBs or advanced PCBs, PCBWay has got you covered. Shipping to more than 170 countries worldwide, processing thousands of PCB orders a day, PCBWay combines excellent pricing with excellent customer service. Check out their website to get a quote or get in touch with their friendly support staff if you have any more questions. But now, back to my amazing 60 euro Voodoo5 deal. Let me show you the description of this listing because it's very interesting. Now, for those who aren't fluent in Dutch, I've taken the liberty to pull it up here in Google Translate, so let's take a look. Picture card from long ago. Looked up and is apparently a collector's item. Comes from the computer that used to belong to the son of the house. Now, is that the dad talking, or is that somebody who just moved into a new house and found the old son of the house's computer? We're not sure at this point. What we do know is that he played a lot of games with it. But attention, this is no longer suitable for a current computer. I tried it on my computer, but it didn't fit. It is rather difficult, I imagine, to fit an AGP card in a PCI slot. But he then tested it with the computer it was in, and that worked immediately. But that was a very old version of Windows that was there. Windows 95, I think. Okay, so let this sink in. Now, so this guy finds a computer with a video card, decides to pull the video card out, and install the video card in his computer, only to realize that it doesn't fit. He then puts it back in the original computer, finds out that it works, and decides to play a game Unreal on it, and concludes that the video card is working fine. So imagine that, imagine that. Now, you get the game with it. I'm nothing else with it. Now here we see Google Translate giving its own little twist on the translation here. The correct translation obviously should be, you also get the game with the video card. I can't do anything with that game. But attention, the game is not in a CD box, but just in a cardboard. Can go for a small price. Collection from me for free or shipping 6 euros will be very well packaged. Okay, perfect. Sounds excellent. Now the problem, at least for me, is that lives in Kinroy. Now for those people who aren't up to snuff with Belgium geography, Kinroy is a municipality in Belgium, Limburg, and it's actually the most northeast municipality in the entire country of Belgium. Go figure that out. And that means that it's a very long drive for me. It's about a 2-hour drive. So I wasn't willing to do that. And obviously I'm not going to send my hard-earned cash to without doing some investigation. So who is? Obviously this could be a fraudulent account. Somebody who just posts these types of, popular pieces of hardware in order to rip people off and turn a quick profit. Now, Belgium being a small country has an even smaller retro community. So I contacted somebody that I personally know, and I figured I might as well see if that guy had already done some deals with this. And it turns out he did. He actually bought a computer from an old 486 DX280. So at this point, I was partly confident that this was a real account with a real seller, but on the other hand, I did find it a little bit bizarre that somebody who knows how to sell a 486 DX280 doesn't know how much a 3DFX Voodoo5 card is actually worth. I also looked at some of the other ads from and contained some other retro stuff. I also looked at his reviews. He doesn't have a lot of reviews, but I did contact somebody who dealt with this guy. And again, turns out the transaction went pretty smoothly. So at this point, I was fairly confident that this was not some, quickly created fraudulent account, which sole purpose was to just, get your money. So, okay. So I told if I was interested in it, I was willing to pay the 60 euros he was asking, and I was wondering how we can seal the deal. I didn't immediately heard back from him, but after a while he told me that he was overwhelmed by the amount of messages that he got about this card. Go figure that. And that he was thinking that he could get well over 60 euros for the card. Now you have to understand I wasn't actively looking for a 3DFX Voodoo5 card, and it's not like I really needed to have one. I'm definitely not going to pay like 200 or 300 euros for it. So I told, look, I'm not going to go into a bidding war over this. You're probably going to get more than 60 euros for this. If you have a price in mind, just name it. We'll see what I can do. And if I'm comfortable with it, I'll take it off your hands. And so the next morning, sent me a message saying that he was willing to sell it to me for 100 euros. I could go and pick it up at his place, or he can ship the product to me. So I agreed to have it shipped to me. And as agreed, the next morning he sent me his banking information, which was a Belgian account number, a bank account number, which also gave me sufficient confidence that this was a real deal. He gave me his name, and I decided to wire the money to him. And I asked him if I could get his phone number so that we could have a quick call. And then all of a sudden, he was telling me like, oh, I don't want to give my telephone number over the internet, which I thought was a bit weird, but I can imagine that some people aren't really comfortable with giving out their telephone number. So, okay, no big deal. So as I transferred the money on Thursday before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I knew that he would have the money on his account by Friday, because it takes a maximum of 1 business day to get money from one Belgian account to another. So I contacted him on Friday asking him, when are you going to be sending the card? And he said, if all goes well, I will send it on Saturday. So fast forward to Saturday. I don't get an email, I don't hear anything from him, I don't get a tracking number, so I ask him what's up. And after a couple of hours I got another message from him saying that he wasn't going to be able to send the card because he got a better offer. Just out of the blue like that. And then he casually said that he will be refunding me the money. Okay, at that point I was getting really pissed off. I mean, not only is he like dragging this on and on and on, he's not really responding quickly to my messages, but then all of a sudden, like, okay, he got the bigger offer, I can accept that, but as soon as you ask somebody to transfer money to another account, according to me, the deal is done. I mean, at that point, there's just no going back anymore. I mean, I have effectively given my money off to another account, and at this point, I have no idea if this guy is just, leading me on, if he is going to transfer the money back to me, or if it's just a fraud. And basically, this has ruined my entire weekend, and that just pisses me off. So much so that I decided to make a video on it. Can you imagine that? I think it's kind of a therapeutic type of thing, but it's also to act as a kind of reminder that you always need to be very vigilant when you do these kind of online transactions. And I really want to show, some of my viewers here that, when in doubt, it's sometimes just best to walk away and just to avoid the whole stress of dealing with these kinds of a-holes that, pretend to have some kind of gentleman agreement with you and then just completely back off of it. Now, one interesting thing you can do if you're expecting something fishy is you can basically copy the image URL of a certain listing, like in this case, and you can go to Google and do a Google image search. If you click on the little icon here, you can paste the URL of the picture here, which is this one. Just going to copy the image address. And if we paste it here, we can actually do a Google search on this particular image. And you will find lots of related images. So let me go back. You see a lot of other cards. But all of a sudden here we see the same identical picture on another popular selling site, which is called Marketplace. And when we go to Marketplace, look at who we find here who is selling a 3DFX Voodoo5 card. But it's not the from Kinroy, it's from another city in Belgium, which is on the coast, which is basically on the opposite side of Belgium. So how weird is that? And he is selling the exact same card with the exact same title and the exact same description and the exact same pictures. Only here, obviously, he has gotten a lot better bids. But yeah, that's kind of odd, right? And the image search also pulled up this eBay listing. So what's going on here? Because apparently the eBay seller here, which is IT Rec, comes from Germany, comes highly regarded, and seems to be a legitimate account. So what is doing here, copying these Voodoo5 images and putting them on Belgian sites? So let me summarize this a bit. So lives at the eastern border of Belgium. We have on the other side, which lives on the west coast of Belgium. And the plot thickens even more because as we investigate other listings, I noticed this tablecloth here. And as you can see here on the DX280 that he sold, we see the same tablecloth. And then I also found other people with different names also selling retro gear using the same tablecloth. So we're obviously dealing with multiple accounts on this site, all in different locations selling all of this retro stuff. Now, obviously, I could have done this type of investigation before I actually wired the money. That was stupid of me. I will take that one on the chin. However, I did contact several people who had dealings with, and they all turned out legit as well. So that's just one of the pitfalls that you can have when you are, doing these kind of online transactions. You just need to be very careful, and you always need to be suspicious. You need to do these types of image searches. You need to find out as much information as you can about the seller. So why would who found the card in a computer, pulled the card out of the computer to try it in another computer, why wouldn't he just take a picture of the card? Why does he need to, copy an image from eBay? That to me sounds really, really strange. But what really annoys the hell out of me is that when a seller has received money from a buyer, at that point, the deal is done, the deal is sealed, there's no going back. I found it to be really annoying that the guy just didn't get back to me, that he didn't send the card, that he then went on about, oh, I got a higher bid, I will repay you, that he doesn't immediately refund the money because there is such a thing as direct transfer here in Belgium. So you can basically transfer money and the money will be within another Belgian account within 5 or 10 minutes. He wasn't willing to do that. So yeah, I was really, really pissed off with this guy. And I guess that's just one of the reasons that I decided to make this video, because I know that a lot of people go online and try to buy stuff and perhaps see deals that are too good to be true. And sometimes, you can find these really great deals that do seem to be too good to be true, but they are actually legitimate deals, and you can do great deals online. But it's people like this that just ruin the entire experience. I mean, you have to do your due diligence, you have to do your own proper investigation. I'm not saying that you don't need to do that, and I also think that I did that in this case. And yet you're left with this bad taste in your mouth, and it just kind of rubs you the wrong way. And I just wanted to make sure that people out there who aren't perhaps that experienced with buying stuff online, that they know kind of the pitfalls that are out there, that they do their proper investigation, that they try to get them on the phone, if possible, just drive up there and get the thing without relying on shipping and wire transfers and stuff like that. Now, fortunately, I did get my money back, but it took almost a week for the guy to refund me the money. I was on holiday at the time, and it completely ruined my week. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video somewhat. It was kind of a different type of video than what you are used to on the channel, but I did want to get this out there because I think this is just stuff that shouldn't happen. And I just want to create some awareness around this topic. So if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like retro tech stuff. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.